Well, hello there, everybody. What is happening? Give me 1 second here. I'm pulling out of the bus station. So give me a second. I got to go do this. I got to go do that. But everything is cool. So, how are you all? Welcome. Thank you for being a part of this. Well, they say it's an adventure. Well, it is a journey, no doubt. So I'm excited about what we have, everybody, today as a guest. I think you're going to love this gentleman. You're going to love, wow, there's going to be some heavy gnosis shared in this. So let me just speak favor over all of us. Nothing missing, nothing broken. That's perfection. And we are prospering, be of service to others, and we're prospering. Hello, chat room. Hello, moderators. So before, no, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my guest, and then I'm going to show y'all. I actually captured this morning a cloaked ship, and I'm going to show you. JD, who is my guest, JD Temple, 4-4. Is that right? Did I get that correct?
Yeah, 444. You know it.
All right. Welcome. I have put his link down below. And JD, just glad to have you. And I think this is going to be an exciting hour.
Yeah.
Before we get into our conversation, let me ask you about this. What do you believe about these vessels in the sky? I mean, do you think there are actually UFOs out there, or do you think that this is really just, our own technology?
Some of both.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that it doesn't matter how anyway, because I'm right there with you. So give me 1 second. So this morning, it's weird. Got up with when you anticipate a phone call. You ever had that happen? And sure enough, the phone call comes. So I get up this morning, minding my own business, mind you, JD. And fortunately, I had camera in hand, and allow me to share this with you. Here we go. So this is what I saw this morning, my friend, as he hits the button. There are a lot of buttons on this thing, folks. You just don't have any idea. So that is what I captured right there. And what drew me to this was when Dr. Albers and I did our physicist and philosopher shows. Folks, these are clouds react to either one thing, wind. They also react to vibration. And if you ever see any of these type of clouds, and you always see the telltale, JD, by the way, they become these pastel colors. And anyway, there is what I believe to be the craft. Let me continue, and I hope it'll let me do that. Come on, man. I'm trying to get ahead here. Let's see, there we go. So check that out. I mean,
yeah, they're definitely letting you know that they're there. A lot of people will not see this, but it is like meant for you to see, and I think you know that.
I saw these type of phenomena when I lived in Colorado, and then they disappeared. I mean, it was like, and you can tell Dr. Albers had just this there. I'll have to dig up in the archives, but folks, this is that telltale sign that there is a technology here, and there it is. Now I actually captured that. I mean, to me, that looks like a craft.
Yeah, I see it.
Do you see it? Yeah, it's like, okay, sure. I'll blow it in. There it is. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can see all this funkiness going all around this thing. I mean, this baby, you can see it actually emanating from this craft. I mean, it's like it has a forward effect.
You can almost see a circular shaped window or port or light or something over to the right.
Really, yeah. I mean, and this is huge. I mean, we don't have any scale to measure it by, but there is another shot. So, yeah. Funky stuff. That's all I got to say, folks. That's, keep on looking up. If you see these type of clouds, that type of, pastel type of thing like Miami Vice, and you begin to make, it's like, how the hell does a cloud make a 90-degree right angle? How does that happen? Anyway,
and like ripples like in water,
Yeah. You can see it. And the thing about it is this craft, and once it knew that this is my opinion, my perspective, once it knew that I actually got some video of it, and I'll be posting that up, it's like it just gone. And away went the funkiness of the clouds, and there we go. Anyway, so JD,
may I bless everyone really very quickly?
Absolutely. Yes, please do. Help yourself. Absolutely.
This will just take a moment. I'm going to light some Palo Santo here for everyone. So we're going to be lighting this. Mark Majerski is a healer in Spain, and a huge piece of moldavite with a Herkimer diamond and a tektite in it. We're also going to be using that right now. And I extend a blessing to each and every one of you here. This apple will serve as a medium for the knowledge and the gnosis that will be received here today and in the future. It starts now. It's always been happening, especially here. Wayne knows that.
Yes.
This quartz crystal is precious and
there's some audio delay, folks.
Connect with your crystal. Everything that you are missing in your life that needs to be filled, that fact will speak to you. They and where you come from and where you've been, and they know what you need to you. And now I will bless you something that each and every one of you should be connecting with all of the time, because it will renew your spirit. It will refresh your aura. And with this all, I bless all of you. Thank you, Wayne. Like all of you here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Absolutely.
I love it. I love the energy, and receive it. Receive it. Thank you. That's a gift. And I'm honored to receive it. Thank you. So, JD, welcome to the Soul Tribe. I don't know how long you've been with us or not with us. It doesn't really matter. You're here now.
3 or 4 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the Libra Lilith thing that you did is so amazing and outstanding. And that is how I found you. And that's how I fell in love with you. And you ever since. And like, that if no one has watched that yet, please go back and watch that with an open mind and an open heart. And it's amazing. Like, thank you for that gift, Wayne.
Thank you. Humbled. She comes and I hear her all the time. And she has told me, she said, I did this because I felt that there was a need to set the record straight. Coming out of Christianity, and we're going to talk about your coming out of Catholicism. I didn't judge her. I mean, and that's one of the things that she has told me, that where she has gratitudes towards this mortal man, is that this mortal man didn't ask anything, didn't require anything, and she said I told her story pretty good. So I don't know. We'll see.
You are connected to her deeply through your ancestries, like through your bloodline. As you know, and that is something that is very special. And there is huge issues in our Western world. And she has a lot to do with that. And she is coming back, and her energy has been here since our last full moon, and really the last 3 months, very, very heavily to restore justice, to restore balance, And I'll get into that whenever you're ready for that. But that is something that I think people will definitely understand and resonate with once they hear what I had to say. Some people, however, will disagree with it very, very heavily, especially if they are a religious person. And that's okay.
That's cool. We all came from that. I
Yeah.
tell them all the time, the water's just fine. It's all right. So JD, tell us how your journey started in this path. When you and I were, before we went live, you had talked about you had come out of Catholicism. So tell your story and bring us along on this. And folks, strap in. This is going to be a fun journey.
I'll make that part brief because I know that we have a limited time. However, so, growing up, I was really on my own since about 7 years old. And I really was critical of my parents. Some life has a role to play in your life. And we make these decisions prior to coming here. I firmly believe that. And so I know that they gave me everything that I needed and everything that they agreed to do for me. And basically if my internet is unstable, please let me know. And I'll.
It does fade in out. There is a buffering problem, but nothing that makes it. We can still follow you.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
No, don't worry about it.
I know they gave me everything that I needed, and that was really what made me strong. And I had a lot of exposure to a lot of different types of Christianity, like Baptist, Presbyterian. My dad got me into, being a Mormon for 3 or 4 years, and that was interesting too. As I grew into a teenager in my 20s, I was not religious at all until I got with my ex-wife at 7 years old. And once I married her and we began to have children, she was a cradle Catholic, and it was very important to her that her daughters, our children, be raised in that way. And I agreed to that. And she did not force me to convert, but I felt that it was right and just to do that, just because I did not want my children's father to not be a part of their spirituality. If that's what we were going to do, then I felt like, okay, well, then I'll do it. And I'll do it with like the fullness of my heart. And I will like totally invest myself in it. And I did that. And it was very strange because like, even though my wife wanted, she didn't want. He wants to go to church on Sunday, but she doesn't really want to do anything else with it, like at home or life. I wanted her to pray with me, and she didn't want to do that. And I was like, okay. But so after that, I began having these like, it's a restoration company, kind of like Serpro, and we do like structural drawing and stuff. And it's very demanding, and would be up at night writing estimates, and she would be in bed. And like one night I was going to bed, and like I was entering the bedroom, and I felt this huge wave of anxiety that like hit me really hard. And I was like, whoa, like what's going on here? She was laying there on her back, and I could feel like the whole bed was like vibrating. What the hell is going on? And so and I close over to her, I see that the vibration was, and it was scaring me. And I put my, and I felt like she had kind of, that's what it felt like. My hand, this is really freaky, but like I felt a baby fist like push up, like kind of, you can feel the baby push. I had that. It felt like a little fist, and I was like, whoa. Okay.
JD, we're having a little buffering issues. It's we're getting about every third or fourth word, and then so it drops.
I don't know why this is happening.
Well, it's because there is heavy nauseous. I'll tell you what we've heard, and then you can pick up from there. So
Sure.
we heard as you with your wife, she wanted the Catholicism, the look of Catholicism, and it whatever. Apparently, she does not practice at home, but she goes to mass. And you were up one night, apparently doing some estimates, and you walked into your bedroom and you felt the vibration, and that's where it began to really break up.
Okay.
Sometimes, and I know this may be a little odd, but if you take the video out and just use your audio, a lot of times that can help as well on the buffering side.
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, now you've got the mic now. I believe we can hear you.
Wonderful. Okay, so this is what happened as I approached the bed and I could feel it vibrating. As I got closer to her, I could tell that she was the source of this vibration, and it was like coming out of her abdomen, and it was like coming from, it was like, it's kind of like like, and I put my hand on top of her stomach, and it felt like when a woman is pregnant and you can feel the baby kicking, like I felt a little fist like push up on my hand, and it freaked me out. I had to wake her up, and she to me that she knew what was happening to her, but she was not going to tell me, and it really made me upset. So when I would, as soon as I would get, I'd be laying on my back, I would feel like my bed would sink down, just like someone just sat on the edge. You could feel it, you could hear it, it's freaky. And then there's like overwhelming anxiety, like fight or flight inducing, that you've ever felt. I didn't know what to do. And then it was like a serpentine energy. My started moving up my body. And then it felt like a tidal wave of like the most highly sensual and orgasmic energy that you've ever felt in your life, that just like enveloped me, and it would just crash over me like waves. And this happened for like 6 hours, and when it happening, I started freaking out, and I was looking over at her, and I could tell that her body was experiencing that I was. So I know about this, and like, so our relationship between her and I was intimacy. I wanted that, of course, but that was not happening. And so I began to become jealous of whatever was happening with this, and I really didn't want to be a part of it, but it kept every night. As soon as
JD, can I inject something in here? Sure. For on this? So is it your sense that what was happening here was you have the flesh, which is, the soul, actually having intimacy with the spirit?
Well, see, that is what was happening. Like, a lot of people kept trying to tell me that it was just a Kundalini thing. But when you feel, like an invisible person just sat down on the edge of your bed, and it is like actually interjecting itself into reality in that way, I kind of beg to differ, and so
we ain't in Kansas anymore, that's for damn sure.
Yeah, right. And so it's really interesting.
So now and one other question, so your wife, it seemed to me what I'm hearing was willingly consenting to whatever was actually taking place here.
Yes. Yes.
Holy
And
crap.
yes. And I believe that was the source reason for our lack of intimacy in our relationship.
Well, no shit.
And so, yeah, right.
Yeah. I
And so
mean,
this, and so,
how can a dude or even a woman, how do you compete with a spirit? I mean, come on. I
no,
mean,
you can't, because, like,
yeah.
I know that I am not capable of replicating what
What
was
she was
happening.
experiencing.
And yeah, and because I experienced it too. And it's like, holy crap.
And then
And so
symbiosis of the two of you, that's real interesting, because there is a bond, of when two consent to a relationship, there is this bonding that takes place. So that's really interesting, JD. So continue on with this, because
sure.
now you've got everybody's attention, and so continue on, my friend.
and so and so 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 I became what I would consider to be possessed by this spirit. And I say that
Malevolent or
because
benevolent?
uh, well, I
Swung
guess I'll
both
leave that up
ways,
to
eh?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And I
Yeah.
think that all of these spirits have that dual nature, no matter who they are.
If they
Demons and
got
angels and
emotions,
all.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And so, when I say I was possessed, it felt like this. I felt like I was wearing an energetic spacesuit. Like, this energy enveloped me, and I felt like how you look like the moon landing suit, like that. It felt
Mm-hmm.
like I was wearing that. And so I go to talk to our deacon that married us, and I'm telling him like all of the stuff that I'm experiencing. And as we're talking, he places his hand on my thigh, and he becomes totally frozen for about 30 seconds and just stares at me. And my wife is sitting right there watching this. And I'm just like, what the hell is happening? This is creepy. And like, he sends me this telepathic message that goes, "What are you? I'm curious and I want to know." And then,
Now
like, he takes
you
his
actually
hand away.
heard that within you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Holy crapola.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, so as soon as
Bartender, I need another drink for the house. All right, continue on,
ah,
JD.
and so, like, of course, our conversation didn't get anywhere at all. He didn't take it seriously at all. And we leave there. And as we walk out, I look at my wife and I go, "What the F was that?" And she goes, "What?" And I was like, "Did you see what happened to him?" And she was just like, "Jesus, Jerry, like, you're crazy. Like, he was just collecting his thoughts." And I was like, "For freaking 30 or 40 seconds. Okay. Like, obviously you did not observe what actually happened." And that people have to remember about these things is that, like, you can standing right beside you that will not miss, because there's not like their spirit, not their weighted, their lows off. My ghost, she's
Did you just say you have a ghost?
well, yeah. I mean, I've experienced a lot of that.
Oh, how cool is that? And
Yeah.
you referred to her in the feminine states. That's cool.
And so what began to happen, because the church was not helping me, is that unravel, it's me unbalanced. I'm like an emotional wreck in a roller coaster. I began to research for myself, like, what am I experiencing here? What am I dealing with? That's when I began to kind of like find the truth about like what demons are, what they're about, what they're here to do. And then I began to become a magical practitioner myself. And that is something that's weird now. Like, one of my specialties is that I do connect with these types of beings, and specifically. And that was something that was basically, I was chosen to do that. And so this thing do, people come to
We
me for
missed what
that, and I help them
you
with it.
were chosen to do, JD. It buffered. Did you say something with the neck?
Well, no. Okay, now.
Yeah, it seems like if we give you a little, like if I ask a question, then it seems like it allows you more space. So continue on. But so we got to the point where you became a practitioner, and then that's where it started cutting it up again.
Okay. So yeah, so I became a practitioner, and one of the gifts that was bestowed upon me was that one of the things that I do the most, more than anything else that I do magically as a service provider, is that I connect people with incubi and succubi. That is something that I have been assigned to by this.
Well, that's interesting. Let's stop right there, because that's an interesting dating service. I mean, I have to say it's unique. And actually, I think it has. So obviously, people are going, what the fuck are you talking about? And I understand, folks. It's all right. That's cool. Some of us are going, that is fucking cool. But anyway, so let's back up a little bit. So how did this, because as you say, you provide a service of this, so that implies that there is an agreement that it goes both ways. And typically, if there's an agreement, then both parties are benefiting. So how did it get approached to you and then I want to hear more how this happens, but to introduce succubus and incubus, which, are considered by the church, almost every religion actually, to be the children of Lilith, the children of the damned, and that what they do is that they extract energy from their victims. Now, I happen to think that that's biased, bigoted, and completely wrong. So how did this begin? My mind's going 50 different directions, but let's focus in one. How did they approach you on this, or who approached you?
Well,
and of course, we can't hear them at all now. They don't want this information out. Mm-hmm. So you have the mic. Let's see what happens, JD.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
So I realized that it was a Lilith that was coming to me in that way. She is the one that was sitting on the edge of my bed. She is the one me to these heightened states of ecstasy and spirit. And is really calling me to, saying like, child, wake up, remember who you are, wake up, child. And that is began happening. And so as you began to explore magic and you began to receive these downloads of like what to do, like in a ritual sense, I began to commune, like even like through began to reveal other spirits to me, and work with this one, work with that one next, as a Belial, Poseidon, Lucifer, all of it to me.
This is, I tell you, folks, I haven't had anything like this.
Like become, and like, so, like I am in a process of like actually like urging. I'm 53 years old and I am in better health, and I was 30, and that is true. It is absolutely true. They have promoted me to not use hard drugs. I had a bad drug problem, a horrible drug problem. That is not happening anymore because of them and their assistance. My diet is pristine. I'm not going to knock anyone for what they do. everyone does what they do and it's right for them. I know what's right for me. And I know that, like, if you really want to ascend spiritually, I can tell you exactly what you need to do it. And it's not that hard, but changing your diet is one of the hardest things for people in this Western world. And that is one that is keeping people from doing what they want to do. Like, absolutely it is. And so that's part of it. But really it's just like, through her, I have been able to really, like, live the life of my wildest dreams. And like, in my, I want to say this too, which is very important to me. Now, I am a black magic practitioner. That does not mean that I'm evil. It does not mean that I hurt people. No, I do not use my magic for those purposes. I think people that do are sick. And, will I defend myself? Yes. But will I needlessly hurt people? And will I let people pay me to do that for them? No. You deal with your own stuff. You deal with your own people in the right way. Don't bring that to me, because I'm not that guy. But
so JD, can I inject here for a second? I got to this. So, which is, and because it's a different perspective on what is spirituality. I mean, as you were talking, I can remember in my teenage, I didn't have any formal religion, but it's interesting because there was a natural aspect of the inner part, because no one ever told me, well, this is what spirituality means. I experienced it before I knew what it was. So what, first of all, have you had anyone come to you and said, I'd like to have an intimate relationship with a spirit being, a succubus or an incubus? Have you had that kind of a request?
Every single day of my
Why not?
Yeah.
I freaking love this. Yeah. I love it.
And
Wow. All right. So, all right. I mean, I've got to ask these questions because these are folks. I mean, come on. I have to tell you, JD, of all the guests I've had on here in over a decade, this is probably going to rate at the top. I mean, it is such a divergent. In fact, it'll give most people whiplash, because it's like, what? Because we've been trained, and I don't care what anyone says, if you've been raised in the West, particularly in the United States, you've been indoctrinated, whether you believe it or not, into a certain belief form. It's in our government, it's the way that it does, and I can get all into this. So each and every one of us, before we're even able to think for ourselves, in essence, we have already been indoctrinated, infected. And what we're told is that there is this good guy and this really bad one. And this really bad one, well, they got a bitch that's really a bitch. And so throughout the indoctrination, the worm, and that's what it is, it's a soul worm, it gets in there and it blocks. As you said, your wife was looking at you and said, what the hell are you talking about? So I get it. I totally get it. And if there is in every relationship, there's an exchange of some sort of mutual benefit. So take that. What, JD, let me ask you as an interviewer.
Here's a little ringing around confirming what you're saying.
So what is the benefit to a mortal human to have a coitus, and this is what we're talking about, with a spirit? I don't think in all of YouTube have I ever freaking seen any video dealing with this subject matter, much less what does a human get with a relationship in this type of a nature?
That's a good question. And segue and
we got segue. You see, they don't want this information out, folks. I mean, come on. The bots are going freaking nuts. Did he just say what we thought he said? So, JD, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, brother.
Okay, you got it now. The mic is hot. You've got it. So, what does a human get in this relationship?
Okay, so as you were saying before, like they are not there just to take energy from you. Now, I will say that there are some rogue spirits out there that will just come and visit you one time here and there, and they will do that. A by or succubi that is brought forward to you from Lilith, that would be one that does want to have an actual long-lasting relationship with you. And they do have a vested interest in that. What they do is share energy with you, and basically like a battery or a transformer, I guess, is that like they will step up your own energy. They'll give it to you. Symbiosis can happen of like energy. And then so part of it is this. They allow you to experience the relationship that they develop with you allows them to experience what it would be like to have an actual human girlfriend that way. So experience.
We got that buffering issue again, JD. Now we've lost him altogether. Hopefully he'll come back in. Wow. We got to get him back on. I mean, folks, I'm going to tell you what, this is I have no doubt that why he's having issues. I mean, in this day and age, this is almost like, going back to 56K. But I got to tell you, in all of my walking days here, I've never heard this. JD, are you back? Are you there, sir?
Okay.
It's still very interruptive, as they said, JD. We can't hear. It's very difficult, even into the echo chamber. Are you there?
Like this is, yeah, I'm here. I have never experienced.
I have no doubt, my friend. I have no doubt there is some heavy spiritual battling going on right now. I got to tell you, there is. I'm sensing it. This is a shocker. This is absolutely red alert, all hands on deck. What the hell is going on here? Because I got to tell you, folks, I'm sensing it. I've never, ever interviewed anyone, much less really read anyone who actually says, this is what I do. I introduced human beings to the incubi and the succubi, which are the offspring of Lilith directly. I mean, folks, I just got to tell you, even within the Liber Lilith, it's, my family namesake. I think Carl went nuts. But this...
I'm going to ask...
All right, JD, you're here. Go ahead. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, sorry. I'm so sorry. So let me tell you, this is something clearly. This is what's wrong with our Western world. And really, the reason why our world is in the condition that it's in is because anyone that understands spirituality knows as above, so below, right? So everything in the spiritual realm, there has to be a balance and a representation of that down here where we are. Now, what we've done in our Western world through religion, Rome did this, is that there is up above, there is divine archetypal representation of feminine and masculine divine energy. Down here, we have stripped that away from her entirely, made her a whore, And basically, we demand that everyone knows God is a man, and God is a man only. You better not recognize anything with the female essence down here on this earth, Bubba, and you better know that shit.
Speak it, brother. Speak it.
So what does that do to a person? Especially all right, so let me this. If you look at our Western world house, we live in a house with a single dad that is upset, confused. He is having a hard time like governing his children. They're all running amok. They're all killing each other. They're treating the animals like shit too, and doing all kinds of craziness, right? And there's all kinds of confusion. You can see it in the world. I'm not going to get into what you know. And so, too, and it's been my experience with women, and like, please don't judge me for what I'm going to say, but I do believe that because we have insisted that God is a man, that it has planted a seed inside of most women to program them to hate men and to not want to serve men. And why would they? Because we have told them that God's a man, and you better know that, sister. And so like, they don't, they're like, the connection to the divine feminine is like so greatly diminished that like there's no balance here. And like, that is why she is coming back to bring justice, to restore balance. It's not an easy thing. You're seeing cataclysms all over the world because of it. There's earthquakes. There'll probably be a volcano erupt at some point by the time this is all said and done. It's making the Earth's pole shift, and it needs to, because like, this is what it's in, and it's a representation of what is happening inside of each and every one of us as well, because all of what's happening with the Earth right now is also allowing each and every single one of us to wake up right now. And it's a calling for us to wake up, child, wake up, remember. And it's happening.
Yeah, JD, I'm right there with you, because you've listened, and my whole experience has been that when they took such extreme steps to erase her name, her image, even her memory. And I was in fact talking to her. I talk to her all the time. I mean, it's no different. I mean, once you're connected and you've made the connection, only you're the one who can sever it. But I digress. And, as I told her, I said, listen, they don't do that unless they're deathly afraid of something. And it's very obvious that if her memory ever gets restored into humans again, this is where this cataclysm comes. People think it's a physical thing. Yeah, I bet your ass it's physical, but what you're not picking up is what's happening on the other side of this coin. So, JD, what you're doing here is absolutely amazing. But while we still got a good connection with you, so again, let's address the issue. I want to know, because I can see in the chat room. So what I heard was that a person could almost have this recharge effect. And if I'm wrong, correct me on this. But you see, I believe that there is healing that can take place as well. These spirit beings that we're connected to, they have the essence and the energy in which to many times to bring balance and restoration to the body itself. Am I wrong on that? Address that, please.
No, you're spot on. You are spot on in that. And that is something that I am as well. Like primarily, more than being a sorcerer, is that I am a healer. And that is something else. Like, that is my other specialty. And that is something that was bestowed upon me through those spirits as well. And like, there's something to remember too about Jesus, which his actual name is Yeshua, is that when he was about 14 years old, he went to Egypt And that is where he met Mary Magdalene. And she was a moon goddess in a very prestigious metaphysical school in Egypt. And he went and met her there. That is where they explored the Egyptian mysteries, especially concerning Mot and Ra, Hathor, and all of them. And he there with her, he discovered the truth of the resurrection, but most importantly, the truth of the importance of having a balance between divine feminine and divine masculine energy. And when you bring those two things together, that is the Holy Trinity. And that is like what is everything. And that was his message. And that is what was stripped away after he was taken away from this earth. They made Mary Magdalene a whore. Oh, yeah, who would have guessed that one? And so like, that is why Christianity is effed. And all of these things that recognize God as only a man, it's effed. And like, it's wrong. I'm sorry. In my opinion, it's
Well,
wrong.
I ask Christians today to tell me
his whole message has been so perverted.
Yeah, I said, when did this Jewish God convert to Christianity? Because the problem is, folks, Christianity wasn't around when supposedly Yeshua is. But and here's my whole point. I challenge any Christian on this. Go and do a study on Vespasian. I saw, who was it that I saw in here? The gentleman's wife. So this would be my point to you, because, you know, prophecy, all of this, it's programming. But the point gets back to, again, study actual history. And you'll find Vespasian had no knowledge of any Christ walking on this earth. It just doesn't. But the problem we have here, JD, is that today we're living out a script. And your gnosis, this type of knowledge, it's so for minds that are still within those boundary limits, this is a shock, man. I mean, you're shattering core beliefs here. You're saying things that are at the church would have us burned at the stake.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they would.
Yep. And that's what happened to my ancestors. My last temple comes from temple, as in and
it's got that delay again, the buffering issue. Oh man, JD, this is so all right. So because we're going to continue with this, I ain't quitting this. So those in the spirit realm, I ain't quitting it. You don't have any right to interfere with this technology. This knowledge will come forth. Your resistance is futile. I've already merged your energy of interrupting this and reversing it back. So JD, I'm expecting this buffering issue to get out of here a little bit. So in the current environment of where we are, because there's an upheaval happening in the Western culture, and we're seeing it in every industrialized nation, there is a great deal of confusion. And I believe that this is a result of the programming of the one male God that is with the male son, and, you know, again, obliterating the feminine. And you know what? This is just my opinion. I'm tired of hearing people say, well, the word Elohim is the feminine form of the masculine. Well, does she have tits? No. Oh, so he's got a dick. Ah, I see. Oh, but you say El Shaddai means the multi-breasted one. Well, where the hell did he get that from? Anyway, JD, I digress, because this is a state of confusion, and this is what happens. This is its curse. You pull away from it because it's all written within the code. Once you accept this mind worm that takes over your spirituality and then begins to limit you in anything. Do you think that the spirit realm is limited to one omnipotent, incompetent individual? No, they took away the goddess. our mother. And this is her homecoming. And she's pissed. And yeah, you know her and other names of Kali, but what she brings is within this restoration, there's going to be a whole lot of shaking up going on. So JD, let's continue on the conversation. This is something that needs to be stated.
Yes. Everything. Wow, but you're frozen now. Still here?
I'm hearing you. Yeah, it's buffering again.
Okay. Did you catch part about that?
No, we lost you. Have you studied? And that's the last we heard of you. You know, JD, what we can also do, maybe just reschedule this on another day, bring you back next week at the same time. I mean, because I want to, this is vital what you have to say. And folks, I've left his link below to get to his channel. I tried the website link, JD, and it was broken. So if you want to send that to me again, we'll get people to get over to your website, because, you know, folks, obviously you can see from the technology aspect that they don't want this information out. They don't even want it spoken, because once it's spoken, and there's about, 1,000 of us who listen every day, and that 1,000 represents a magnitude of exponentially. You're going to take this information, and JD has gone out. So, woof. Man, I am just absolutely I got to tell you, this is the type of mind candy that is just incredible. I feel like I'm in a French chocolatier, Rennie, and this is the type of chocolate that melts immediately at the perfect body temperature when it's in your tongue. Whew. Man, precious, precious stuff. And listen, I know that this sounds completely 180 out of this. But folks, it's happening. Again, no theologian has been able to come in and document Lucifer ever requiring one human to worship him or her. And no one has ever been able to show me where he's ever required a human sacrifice. No one can show me where she, Lucifer, if you want to use that term, ever restricted one human to a thought, to make sacrifice, to kill and infringe upon the animal kingdom. No. JD, I see you're back. Well, that's okay, folks. We're gonna continue this. JD, just to let you know, if you're listening, go ahead and log out. And
I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Okay. All right, good. So we're getting near the end of the hour. We're gonna have to do this again. We're gonna have to do it when we, because there's a lot that you have to say, and I'll be more than happy to give you the platform to say it.
Thank you so much, Wayne. And I'll make sure I'm going to do this from a different location next time.
Okay.
And I'll make sure that I've got the strongest connection possible. I'm at my metaphysical shop here right now, streaming from there.
Okay.
But I'll do it from my house next time.
All right.
I have extremely powerful internet there, and so that will help.
Let's pick up next Wednesday.
Same
date, well, not the same date, but same time, same day.
Yes.
JD,
I love you, brother.
Oh man, I'm humbled, and I got to tell you, we love you too. This is folks, this is wow. And I'll handle this with some of the others in the community, but next Wednesday, all right, JD?
You got it. I'll be here,
all right,
brother.
All right, buddy. We love you, man. We'll see you next week.
Love you too.
All right, ciao, as they would say. Thanking everyone in the chat room. Listen, I get it. I understand. I'm seeing some of the comments out there, and listen, if this is not your cup of tea, that's all right. You don't have to drink it. I happen to enjoy it. I find it to be very tasty, and And so let me just get to those who have found that this. I'll address this real quick. And JD, when we get them on next week, we're going to be able to as well get him to get a little bit more in this as well. So what's the problem here? Why do people find this type of knowledge to be a shocker? Some would say reprehensible. Why? It's the same thing that happens in every religious ceremony around the world. You have a human spirit interacting with an unseen spirit. They have communion. They have intercourse. In fact, I'll quote the Apostle Paul. That's exactly what he said, that his experience was with the Holy Spirit. It was on the same intimacy of coitus. I didn't say it, he did. But oh yeah, Paul also had a copy of the Liber Lilith too. Oh fuck, you can't say that, Steiger. People don't want to hear that shit. So why are you into the metaphysical? Why are you into spiritualism, spirituality? Why are you into the journey of ascension? If interacting with spirits is so reprehensible that this offends you, what the hell are you going to do when you get on the other side? You know what's going to happen? You're going to get your ass kicked. Ain't no Jesus going to be there. It's a Wild West over there, folks. We've been indoctrinated with one particular point of view. The problem is, with one particular point of view, it begins to not fill in the whole necessity. Things are changing. We talk about wanting the divine feminine, but yet when we start bringing out what the divine feminine is from a different perspective of not a masculinity, people get offended. What do you mean having sex with spirits? Well, if you think sex exists over there, well, what's the problem? I mean, humans have sex now with robots. They're marrying them. I think that's more weirder than having a potential beneficial relationship with a spirit. Intimacy is an exchange of knowledge. Oh man, Steiger, you pissed them off now. That's all right. Where they deserved it. My expression is, better to be pissed off than pissed on. So, woo. Heavy stuff. Heavy stuff. I mean, I got people that they seem to watch me, that this is going to absolutely freak them out, because this is like, well, you've just crossed the line, man. What is this? Woo! Yeah. Well, folks, the best way you can show your appreciation is hit the like button. Go over to JD's YouTube channel and subscribe. Learn. If you don't agree with it, that's cool. But why do you have a problem being bigoted, prejudices towards knowledge? That's racist. That's true racism. That somehow knowledge, all knowledge, how can you have just good knowledge and then bad knowledge? We're crazy. I mean, does electricity care who uses it? No. I mean, you can sit there in air conditioning in the summer and beautiful warm heat in the wintertime, or you can be a denialist and say, I ain't touching it, man. No, that's of the devil, man. No. Ay. All right, folks. Much love to all of you. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about our good friend Frater, Nathan, as I know him, and Setnakh. We had an experience last night. So you see this right here? You see this, folks? Well, in fact, let me show you something real quick because I just want to let you see ahead of time what I am talking about here. So as he goes over here, this, what you see now is this here. It's almost 5 feet. And I have my wife and daughter, we had an experience that just, folks, this is it. It's off the scale. That's all I got to say. It's off the scale. But it was powerful, mighty powerful. All right. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. I love the open thinkers, the free thinkers. We're the ones that help liberate the rest of our species. When you can get free from the religion, the politics, the social structure, you can truly say you're on a path that's going to lead you to a good place. Where it's going to lead, I don't know. I just know it's going to be a good place. So, all right, everybody. I appreciate all of you. Much love to you. Favor be upon us all. Just continue to learn. And again, if it ain't your cup of tea, that's cool. You know, at least you got to smell it. Maybe not like the smell. I don't know. Some people eat sour milk. Some people eat Limburger cheese. Now, I love cheese. Not so in love with Limburger cheese, but you see, it's the same cheese. It's cheese. So cheese y'all out and make sure to smile. I do love y'all. All right, until we meet again. All right.